there?
I think one document.
So how is the committee going to effectively scrutinize? Is it a big volume?
No, Chair.
How many pages? Next time you don't do that, you give, you see, as we are not experts seated here, so we need a lot of time to scrutinize these documents you give us. So Secretariat, you can correct those
20 documents, Chair.
And you do the needful. And why did you keep them to yourselves when you knew there were no printers in Masaiti?
No, Chair, it was just an oversight on our part that we did not include them to the main document.
We would like one day to have a situation where there will be no oversight. Because throughout the document, I know even that's not the last oversight we're going to hear from you. You may begin your submission as the Secretary is doing the needful.
Thank you, Chair. Masaiti Town Council, I'll start with Kafulafuta constituents. Item number A, failure to equip Bo Lupia Primary School. On the 29th April 2023, the council engaged Sashi Drilling Company Limited for the drilling of a bore at Lupia Primary School at a cost of 45,000 kwacha, with a completion period of 12 weeks, commencing on the 18th May 2023 and ending on the 18th June 2023. The scope of works included... Okay. Oh, Chair, sorry, I've just been guided. I'll go straight. Yes, thank you so much. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that council had planned to drill and equip the bore with a hand pump as applied by the community, however, did not equip it after drilling due to a request made by the school management to install a submersive pump instead of hand pump after the bore was drilled. Action taken. Management wishes to state that through the CDF committee, a sum of 150,000 kwacha from the 2025 CDF allocation has been allocated and approved towards the installation of submersive pump with overhead tank to supply running water to the school and surrounding community. See appendix number A. Remedial measures. Management shall endeavor to fully engage beneficiaries of the community projects before projects execution to ensure the needs of the community are adequately addressed. I move on to item B, management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that the council had installed a solar power system on a 1x2 classroom block through the contractor Machila Engineering Limited, but had stopped functioning. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the contractor was engaged and instructed to rectify the defect before retention money could be released. The contractor had mobilized and rectified the problem, which later stopped functioning before retention money could be released. The contractor was again engaged, however, he failed to rectify the defect within the given period, resulting into termination of contract and forfeiture of the retention money. The withheld retention amount 28,667 will be used to rectify the defect using engineering department. Alternatively, a separate contract could be done or entered with a contractor to be engaged to construct the ablution system school. Number B. Measures. Management shall continue to closely supervise and monitor the projects to ensure quality products and services are provided to gain value for money. I now move to Masaiti constituency. Workmanship, construction, Nkula machine. Cool white tubes had not been done. Additionally, plaster on the anti-guard was peeling off and a crack had developed on a concrete pad. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the project was still under defect liability period with 5% of the contract sum withheld and not yet paid to the contractor. The contractor, Hainan Engineering Limited, was instructed to rectify the defects before release of retention money and has since rectified it. Further, the 5 ceiling mounted fluorescent fittings with cool tubes not fitted were as a result of stating in the of quantities. Therefore, the contractor, which became a number management shall continue to closely supervise and monitor the projects, products, and services are provided for our people and enhance the application of project management techniques to have successive projects. I move on to item C, drilling and installation of hand pump bores in Kashitu and Shimivanga ward. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to state that the bore at Kalewo Primary School was not as it had dried up at the action taken. Management wishes to state that the contract with Sashi Drilling Company was terminated due to fundamental breach of contract and poor workmanship. A new bore has since been drilled using the contractor currently drilling bores in the district and will be paid from the retained funds in the sum of 60,000 kwacha 855. See appendix number E. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure close supervision and monitoring of bore drilling and construction by water engineer and other project measures to achieve value for money. And I move on to point number 2, poor workmanship, apron. 6 water points had damaged aprons at Kaleo Primary School, area, and discharge. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to state that 6 water points are damaged upon poor workmanship. Sashi Drilling Company Limited. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the contractor was engaged several times on phone and in writing to rectify these defects. However, the contractor failed to execute the instructions within the stipulated period, resulting into termination of the contract and forfeiture of retention money. Management through engineering department will rectify the defects using the forfeited retention money. Refer to monitoring of all the project teams. Number 3, the sort query acknowledges the auditor's finding, which to state done by the company. Contract was engaged several times on phone within money through the monitoring of and electrical towards labor cost for opening for road opening from Kafurafuta did not know the location of the site. Action taken. Management wishes to state that further inquiries were made with the new Ward Development Committee chairperson, who managed to locate the road in Beach Bridge by the local people and not Mupapa Bridge as indicated on the project name. The works carried out involved the road clearing and widening leading to crossing point where a footbridge was being constructed. See appendix number F. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure to enhance and strengthen proper documentation of all projects from inception to completion to avoid such occurrence. Move on to item E. Management of soft loans. Failure to utilize interest earned on a revolving account. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the audit on the failure to utilize the interest earned on the revolving account for soft loans totaling 4,000. Action taken. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to interest earned so the in the following year 2025 CDF approvals. Remedial measures. Management shall endeavor to utilize the interest earned on the revolving account for soft loan recovery. F. Other observations. Administrative expenses.
CS, where are you reading from?
It's on page 10.
You have read the same statement you have just said.
Okay. Remedial measure. Management shall endeavor to utilize the interest earned on the revolving account for soft loan revolving.
Yeah,
Then I move on to item F.
It's correct now because you read something else. Okay, proceed.
Okay. I move on to item F. Other observations. Administrative expenses. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor that three payments amounting to 34,460 were not supported with relevant documents during the period under review. Action taken. Management wishes to state that all the relevant supported documents have been attached and are available for audit verifications. See appendix number G. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that all payment vouchers have the necessary relevant supporting documents. I move to 2 under G, item number 2, unaccounted stores. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor that 4 payments amounting to 147.95 had no receipt and disposal details during the period under review. Action taken. Management wishes to state that all relevant supported documents have been attached and are available for audit verifications. See appendix number H/I. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that all payment vouchers have the necessary relevant supporting documents. I move on to item number 3, failure to maintain asset register. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the audit on the failure to maintain separate asset register amounting to 98,290. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the asset register has been separated from the main council asset register and have been attached and are available for audit verifications. See appendix C, J/K. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that the asset register constituent development funds have been maintained separately, shall be maintained separately as a. Then we move on. Cross-cutting. That is page number 13. Appendix 1, budget and expenditure. Management acknowledges that the auditor's findings the sum of 1,681 was retained by the Ministry of the Insurance of the Kafulafuta 52,000 kwacha was retained under Masaiti constituency for the construction of Mushiri's Palace and the insurance of monitoring vehicle. The total unspent funds of 8,962,000 kwacha and 2,824 and 16 under Kafulafuta and the Masaiti constituencies respectively were due to some running projects which cross over into 2024. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of auditor that a sum of 900,000 kwacha, 936,000 kwacha, 741 was retained by the ministry for the construction of Chief Mushiri's Palace. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the ministry awarded a contract to Zambia Correctional Service to construct the Chief's Palace. However, the construction works did not commence due to the succession disputes in the chiefdom, which made it difficult to settle for a site for the project. This matter is currently in court, and we are advised to wait until the matter is resolved by the court. See Appendix number L. Remedial measure. Management shall continue engaging with the Provincial Chief's Affairs Office on the matter to have the project commenced. I move on to Appendix number 2, total unspent funds. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor on unspent funds for Kafurafuta amounting to 31,422,75 kwacha, out of which 17,311,472 was balance brought forward for 2022, which was already committed for the running project. 460,225 for accrued interest, which has been paid, and the balance of 13,650/378. There's a table there showing the tabulations. Furthermore, for Masaiti, an amount of 24,197,945 was balance brought forward for 2022, which was already committed for the running projects. 454,844 for accrued interest, which has been paid to the Ministry of Finance, and the balance of 21,942,080. Chair, there is also a table which is showing the tabulation. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the unspent funds have since been spent as shown on the table below. See Appendix number M. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that all approved projects, loans, grants, and bursaries are timely implemented. I move on to Appendix 2.1, unspent funds, community projects. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings, acknowledges the findings of the auditor on the unspent funds for community project for both Kafurafuta and the Masaiti constituencies amounting to 5,143,000 kwacha, representing 34%, and 2,624,000 kwacha 508, representing percent respectively. Management wishes to state that unspent funds were due to some running projects which were not completed at the time of audit and have since been completed. Refer to Appendix number M. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that approved community projects are implemented timely. I move on to Appendix 2.2, unspent funds, empowerment grants. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditors that 100% of Masaiti constituencies were fully spent. Action. Management acknowledges that 100% of the empowerment for Lafuta and Masaiti constituencies were fully spent. Remedial. Stakeholder process fully engaged and sensitized on the need to efficiently process the application so that grants are. Yes. Move on to Appendix 2.3, unspent funds, empowerment grants. Cause of query. auditor that 100% of the empowerment grants for both Kafurafuta and Masaiti constituencies were fully spent. Through engagement of all stakeholders in the approval process. Measure, management shall ensure that all stakeholders in the approval process for empowerment grants are fully engaged and sensitized on the need to efficiently process the application at timing. I move on to the boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query, management acknowledges the findings of auditor on unspent funds for secondary boarding and skills development. Bursaries amounting to 3,326,206, representing 31%. Action taken. Management wish to state that the unspent secondary boarding and skills development bursaries amounting to 3,326,206 was because of the low numbers received for secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Therefore, the funds were varied towards community projects. Remedial measures. Management shall continue to sensitize the WDCs and communities to encourage them to apply for respective bursaries. I move on to Appendix 2.5, unspent funds, administrative costs. Cause of query, management acknowledges the finding of the auditor on the unspent funds for administration costs for both Kafurafuta and for Kafurafuta amounting to 55,572, representing a 4%, and Masaiti amounting to 200,974, representing 14%. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the unspent and administrative cost for Kafurafuta and Masaiti constituents was reserved for monitoring of 2023 community projects that were not completed at the time of the audit. Refer to Appendix number M. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that approved community projects are timely implemented. I move on to Appendix 3, 2022 community projects. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor and wish to state that the two projects under Kafurafuta constituents were outstanding, which included the construction of a ablution block at Muwaya Primary School and drilling and construction of bore at the Chimanshi Primary School. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the construction of a ablution block at Muwaya Primary School and drilling of bore at the Chimanshi Primary School, which have been upgraded to a water scheme, are in progress. See Appendix number O. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that procurement of construction services is done timely to avoid delays in implementation and completion of community projects. Appendix number 4, 2023 community projects. Management response. Management acknowledges the findings of the audit and wish to state that two projects from each constituency were outstanding, which included rehabilitation of 1x3 classroom block at Kaleo Secondary School and repair of ceiling and painting of Katua Health constituency, while rehabilitation of Chiwara Road and construction of ablution block at Chiwara Health Post. Action taken. Management wishes to state that all the outstanding projects were executed and completed in both constituencies. See Appendix number P/Q. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that procurement of construction services is done timely to avoid delays in implementation and completion of projects. I move on to page number 22. Appendix 5. Analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor that 100% of 2022 youth, women, and community grants were dispersed as of 31st December 2023. Action taken. Management wishes to state that full disbursement of 2022 youth, women, and community grants was as a result of constant engagement of all stakeholders to timely process the applications from communities. Remedial measure. Management shall continue to engage all stakeholders in the approval process to timely process the applications. I move on to appendix number 6, change of projects without approval. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor on the change of projects without approval by 40 cooperatives in Kafurofuta constituency with funds amounting to 537,000 kwacha, 960, and 80 cooperatives in Masaiti constituencies with funds amounting 1,564,984. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the affected cooperatives were engaged and advised to request for consideration of new projects by constituency development fund committees. The cooperatives applied for consideration of new projects, citing reduction in the amount they had applied for and what was approved. Arising from this, the Constituency Development Fund Committee for Kafurafuta and Masaiti constituencies respectively sat and recommended to the provincial local government officer for the approval of new projects, and the projects have been approved. See Appendix R. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that WDCs and communities are sensitized on the adherence to CDF guidelines and the procedure for changing CDF projects. Appendix number 8 on the same page 23. Performance analysis, soft loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor that the approved rate for Kafurafuta and Masaiti soft loans were 60 and 56 respectively, despite the fund disbursement being 100% for both constituencies. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the approved rate of 60% for Kafurafuta and 56% for Masaiti was as a result of the guidance under Chair, allow me to make a correction the same. It's supposed to read MLGRD 101/22/157. We can make some corrections there. Not to downscale projects. Not to downscale project amounts without considering project proposals. Therefore, the funds available could only accommodate 60% of the applications received under Kafurafuta and 56 of those under Masaiti, respectively. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that it adheres to the ministerial guidance regarding the loan amounts to be approved. Appendix 9. Failure to recover loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor on the failure to recover loans for Kafurafuta, which is 78,434, and Masaiti 69,555 kwacha. Action taken. Management has continued to engage both the financial loan beneficiaries on the need to comply. Currently, the loan repayment has increased from 78,435 to 512 and 512,004 for Kafurafuta, and is 69,055,000 kwacha to 374,368 for Masaiti constituencies, respectively. See appendix number is remedial measure. Management shall continue to engage both the financial institutions and guidance. To another item, Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor that 348 students sponsored under skills development for Kafurufuta graduated during the period under review, whereas 2 students under Masaiti constituents graduated out of 284 learners that were sponsored. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the students that did not graduate at the time of audit were still in school and have since graduated. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure to give timely status report on graduating students. Appendix number 13, analysis of performance of desks. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor on undelivered desk for Masaiti, 170 desks amounting to 226,000 kwacha, and Kafurafuta, 699 amounting to 1,068,200 kwacha. Action taken. Management wishes to state that all the 170 outstanding desks under Masaiti have since been delivered, while 600 had been delivered under Kafurafuta constituents. The variance 62 is yet to be delivered by the new contractor arising from the termination of contracts for 3 suppliers who had failed to deliver 250 days. See Appendix T. Management shall ensure that due diligence is done on suppliers to assess their capacity to deliver projects when awarded to them to avoid unnecessary delays. Delivery of substandard desks. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor on delivery of substandard desk for Kafurafuta 42 and Masaiti 57. Action taken. Management wishes that the suppliers of substandard desk were identified to rectify the desks in all respective schools, which has since been done. Remedial measures. Upon delivery that they meet the specifications. In conclusion, we wish to reaffirm our commitment to ensure all CDF programs are implemented in adherence to relevant rules, regulations, policies, and guidance issued by government going forward. I submit. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, CS, for submission. Honorable colleagues, it's time now to interact with the witness. Okay. Honorable member for Dundumwezi, then Karurushi. Let's take those two there anyway. Take another round.
Chair, thank you so very much. I just wanted Chairman to know whether Director Engineering was present at Masaiti in 2023. What you will note most of the construction.
Where are you questioning the witness?
Question number, page, just the first, let me see. Page 2, Chairman, poor workmanship, construction of a block at Nkulumashiba. Page 4, poor workmanship, construction of 1x3 classroom block. And again, there's one here, block at Chankute. Yeah, a number of projects, Chairman, up to even you read at number page 8, water overflowing out of the soak pit attributes to poor workmanship. I don't know whether the director engineering was present at the time of evaluating these contractors, and how could they allow such a situation where most of the projects were not done to standard?
It's a follow-up, a new question. Okay. Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Under your guidance, Chair, a very short one. How often do you check your projects when they are under construction, that you can have such kind of poor workmanship in all the in most of your structures? I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to call upon Director of Engineering to respond to both questions. Thank you.
Your mic closer so that people are following us on TV and the radio can pick you right. Even people who Kafraftan the Masaiti, obviously they are listening to this program.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. To start with, Chairperson, I wish to respond to the question where I've been asked whether I was present at the time of evaluation. Chair, indeed, yes, when evaluation is done, as Director of Engineering, I don't sit in the evaluation committee. I sit in the procurement committee. However, my office is represented in the evaluation committee. And then coming to the question of monitoring. Chair, yes, what we have done this time is that we supervise and monitor our projects on a weekly basis. I think what we've done is that from Wednesday to Friday, that's the period that we do the inspections. However, Chair, we realize that the defects that were highlighted are the defects that arose during the defect liability period. So all these defects were, after the projects were completed, that's when they were noted. At the time of project completion, I think the structure was still intact, but these are defects that arise during the defect
Director
liability
Engineering,
period.
before you even go further. You are the person at the center of supervision, because you are the one who even appoint project managers who are supposed to work closely with these contractors. How can you say you are not part of the team? Because they are supposed to report to you on a daily basis, even what they are finding.
Chair, what I was referring to was, the question was at the time of evaluation. Because evaluation, Chair, we sit in evaluation committee
Honorable
before.
Murunda.
Chairperson, Director Engineering should not be saying at the time of evaluation. The question was, were you present at Masaiti during that year, 2023? That was the question, not evaluation. Don't add the evaluation. I hope that's what you asked, sir. And what we wanted to establish is, because you are the one that is managing these projects, and 2, 3, 4, 5 pages are indicating poor workmanship. The question from my colleague, I mean, what is your monitoring, standard? You said almost every week. So can you convince this committee that you were checking on this? And how can you be proudly say these defects were discovered after? Are you anticipating that actually every building after months you have to see defects? What kind of
Substantive
just engineering is that?
Thank you. Before my sister comes in, Chair. Before Honorable Kapamba comes in. Yes. Thank you for the guidance, Honorable Member for Mangango and Honorable Member for Siavongo. Chair, what Honorable Singombe has brought out, I think we need to put it very clear. Chair, with your permission, I want to read. It's a very touching revelation. From page 1, actually. I will skip page 1 because it's talking about boreholes. That one will come later. Page 3, supposed to be page 3. Page 3. Chair, what Honorable Member for Dundumwezi Dr. Singombe has brought out is what Honorable Mulunda, Honorable Mangango, Honorable Mitete, Honorable Karulushi, all of us are worried about. Page 3, poor workmanship, construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Nkulu Mashiba Secondary School. This is a 2022 project. I will just describe what was observed as a query. Page 4, poor workmanship. This is number 1, Nkulu Mashiba. Poor workmanship, construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Nkulu Mashiba. It's the same. Now the other one is poor workmanship, 1x3 classroom block at Chankute Secondary School, 2022 project. And if you look at the pictures, then you marry it to what the director engineering has stated, you get worried. The other thing is non-functional boreholes. The poor workmanship apron. Water overflowing out of the sock pit. Questionable payment, road opening of Kafulafuta River. This one I'll come to it later. With your permission, or other members will bring it out. So, Chair, when you look at this report, I will not talk over unsupported payments, she will talk about it. The entire report of the project, Chair, poor workmanship. Poor workmanship. Meaning that monies were expended on these projects, Chair, but the value for money is zero. Because the director is saying that this was during the defect liability. Chair, the question that Honorable Member for Dundumwezi asked, were you there as director engineering, which has been emphasized by Honorable Mulunda? Because when you look at this, it tells you that there is completely no proper supervision from the technical people who are employed for the same reason. Director engineering, CS, this is money wastage. Before even a year can elapse, the whole building is collapsing. Public resources expended on these so that they can add value to the lives of the people. Poor workmanship, poor workmanship, poor workmanship. Chairperson, I want to find out from the director engineering. Director, were you supervising the way you were you were saying that you supervise every week? If you were supervising weekly, monthly, quarterly, what did you tell this committee about these projects that have been wasted? Taxpayers' money wasted. How do you rate yourself with your supervision? Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much. CS and your team, what members are bringing out, they are not dreaming. It's coming from the document that you have submitted. It's quite evident throughout your submission. There's poor workmanship, lack of supervision, cracking building. Lack of proper documentation, utilize the interest end, unsupported payments, unwanted for stores, even a failure to maintain just an asset register, change of projects without approval. So, can you respond to that question? Were you supervising? Were you present at that time? Proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. I went to Masaiti, projects were done, And when I did make some inquiries here, I noticed that actually, I think our office at that time was not so much on the ground to do the close supervision. So Chair, when I referred to the weekly monitoring, so what we did, Chair, was at the time that I came into office, we appointed a project team that has been conducting the weekly monitoring. And this is what we are doing, Chair. So as it is right now, we are on the ground. I think we've been visiting all the projects almost every week. Thank you, Chair.
It's a follow-up? It's a follow-up, Kalulushi? Or it's a new question?
It's a when
Let's
Chair.
exhaust follow-up questions. Then
Yes, it's a follow-up question,
Okay.
Chair. Chair, through you, I would want to speak to Masaiti. I get confused sometimes on how people get so comfortable with the public money. This is wasteful expenditure for me. And maybe my first question, Chair, before I even
Director, your mic off.
get into the needful, I want to ask TC, do you have a standard bill of quantity for classrooms? Yes or no? Or it varies?
Chair, we have standard bill of quantities that we use.
Okay. So, Chair, my question, when I just go there, why I'm asking, because I would expect that an institution as the Masaiti Town Council would have standard BOQs. When we look at Masaiti Town Council on page 2, Chair, they are saying that 1x2 classroom block costed 417. 177 kwacha. When we go to page, what page is this one? The next page, for me it has no page number. Page 3, for me it has no page number. Yeah. When we go again, poor workmanship, 1x3 classroom block, the cost of the classroom block 1x3 is 795. When I do my simple mathematics, it's telling me that one classroom block for the first one was costing 208. Here we have 3 classroom blocks with the same, yes, it's costing 302. A variation of almost 100 and something kwacha. As if that is not enough, your answer has been you have a standard BOQ. So here there is an addition of a classroom block. Very similar the requirements as in the first one. Chair, when you look at our council in Masaiti, for me I think they know exactly what they're doing when funds are being misused. For me, I would assume that this council is conniving with the contractors. Because when you look at, from just page 1, going further, they will pay out all the money. And the only money that will remain is retention. Meaning we know exactly what we're doing. So when we come to audit, we'll just say, no, we didn't pay. There is the retention. This is how money is leaving these councils in unscrupulous ways. And at the end of the day, the projects will be abandoned. When you just look, I just want to concur with our chair. When you look at even just the moment when you're saying, no, we're waiting for that period to see if the building will sit or whatever. Chair, town clerk, have you seen these cracks? These cracks, you don't even have to wait. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that this building is substandard. Government is paying technocrats in your council to ensure that these CDF monies that are coming, whether it's civil works, it's electrical works, you have the staff, the support staff, to ensure that these works are being done. I know that for even just building civil works, there must be proportions. Now, to allow, if we're going to allow such big cracks like this, even before you came, Director Engineering, through you, Town Clerk, I just want to find out, Chair, Has these officers before you been reported? Is there a commission or something like that? Or it is business as usual? Since I've taken over office, I will do as whatever. Because for me, this is broad daylight theft. If they have standard BOQs, why are there variations?
Okay, well picked. Maybe CS, before you ask, were you there during the period under review? When did you join them?
Last year, 2024.
Director planning? Were you there?
Yes, Chair, I was there.
Director finance?
Though,
Yes, the answer is simple. It's a yes or no.
okay.
Director finance?
Chair, I joined last year in June.
Okay. Director procurement officer?
I joined last year in February.
Okay. Internal auditor?
I joined last year in August, Chair.
Director engineering?
I joined late 2023, Chair.
So only director planning was there? Huh?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
I joined in 2023 January.
Okay. Gentlemen. Huh? Okay. 2 minutes break. So your immunity is temporarily lifted. So we'll be called shortly.
The witness, which is Masaiti at Town Council, is still coming back. The committee has just taken a break. Still to come in the afternoon, we do expect the committee to receive submissions from Rufunsa Town Council as well as Chirundu Town Council. Good afternoon. Stay glued to Parliament Television. Don't go away.
The Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, the Right Honorable Ms. Nelly Butete Kashumba Muti, State Council, MP FAPRA, regrets to inform the nation that Mr. Roy Ngulube, Clerk of the National Assembly, passed away on Monday, 7th April 2025 in Tashkent, Uzbekistan at 20:35 hours Uzbekistan time after a short illness. Mr. Ngulube had accompanied the Right Honorable Madam Speaker on official duty, where she is attending the 150th Interparliamentary Union Assembly and related meetings. The National Assembly of Zambia is shocked by this sudden loss and acknowledges Mr. Ngulube's distinguished service to the nation, most of which was in the public service spanning over 3 decades. Mr. Ngulube joined the National Assembly on the 15th of April 2002 and rose through ranks. He served as Assistant Committee Clerk, Executive Assistant to the Secretary General of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum, SADC-PF, from 2006 to 2008, Executive Assistant to the Honorable Speaker from 2009 to 2015, Deputy Clerk Procedure from 2016 to 2017, and Deputy Clerk Administration from 2017 to 2022. Mr. Ngulube was later appointed Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia in September 2023, the position he held until his untimely death. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. We now take you to the Committee on Local Government Accounts. They are still with Masaiti Town Council.
It is the resolution of this committee to send you away. All the engineers, the whole team, we need the whole team. Engineers, yes, we want also to learn. And as you come back, CS, we need evidence in terms of financials. How you, even a student register, we want to see how you've been paying these students. The headcount register. We need it, not the one you print in your office and indicate it. It's the actual ones they've been signing. We want it. We want payment vouchers, you exhibit them. We want bank statements. All these things are not here. We've checked this document. So bring all the officers where they are communicating with them. You are going to communicate with Secretariat. They will direct you. Everything that is missing, we want you know. We can't even overemphasize what you've been appearing. You know what you expect here. We want to learn how you say completion certificate, how you are failing to when you have a CDF vehicle, administrative component, the funds to make you reach all corners of Rufwanyama and Masaiti. We want also to learn. So bring those officers. So we are sending you away. Go and bring those officers. Yes, with Secretariat, they will give you a fresh date. Or yourself, if you see which date will be convenient, so that those officers are assembled together, bring them here. This message does not only end on you. It's also going to other local authorities that have not yet appeared. We are not expecting you to come when you are not the one who was there. Bring people, keep people, come with them, we'll sit with them. If you will be 100 here, we are ready, as long as we get what you are expected to get from you. So immunity is removed. Go out there and mobilize. We want evidence. We want substantive people who dealt with these issues. So you may take leave.
Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon. There you have it, dear viewers. That was Masaiti Town Council appearing before the Committee on Local Government Accounts. The committee is considering the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Now, what has just happened is that Masaiti Town Council has been sent back, meaning they've been advised to put their house in order and they will make fresh submissions in the due course to be communicated to them. Remember, in the afternoon, we do expect Alfonsa and Chirundu Town Council to appear before the committee. So I urge you to stay glued to the TV. Don't forget on our Facebook page. I'll be your presenter for the morning session. My name is Myunda Katama, and of course, I also encourage you to join my other colleague, Daza Pierre, should be here at 14:30 to run you through the proceedings over the committee and over the sign language interpreters, and of course to follow the proceedings us bye-bye, but don't go away. Good afternoon.
The Speaker, the Right Honorable Miss Nelly Wutete Kashumba Muti, State Council, MP FAPRA, regrets to inform the nation that Mr. Roy Ngulube, Clerk of the National Assembly, passed away on Monday, 7th April 2025 in Tashkent, Uzbekistan at 20:35 hours Uzbekistan time after a short illness. Mr. Ngulube had accompanied the Right Honorable Madam Speaker on official duty, where she is attending the 150th Interparliamentary Union Assembly and related meetings. The National Assembly of Zambia is shocked by this sudden loss and acknowledges Mr. Ngulube's distinguished service to the nation, most of which was in the public service spanning 3 decades. Mr. Ngulube joined the National Assembly on the 15th of April 2002 and rose through ranks. He served as Assistant Committee Clerk, Executive Assistant to the Secretary General of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum, SADC-PF, from 2006 to 2008, Executive Assistant to the Honorable Speaker from 2009 to 2015, Deputy Clerk Procedure from 2016 to 2017, and Deputy Clerk Administration from 2017 to 2022. Mr. Ngulube was later appointed Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia in September 2023, the position he held until his untimely death. May his soul rest in peace.
See you. My e-Parliament mobile app add to your mobile number with a one-time password.
The Vice
for oral answer standing.
Plus, more movies. Plus, more fun. On Top Star, find affordable price on classic sports. Real football Liga as Real Madrid. And get to Saturday. So, entertain your life by grabbing yourself a Top Star decoder now. Top Star, enjoy digital life. It's the month entertainment on Top Star for an affordable price of 210 kwacha on Antenna Classic OD Smart. Follow the heat in the stylish Spanish La Liga. Watch Barcelona as a face-off with Legions on Saturday, 12th April at 21 hours and Alaves versus at 16:59. The German host Peter rivals Dortmund on at 18:30 hours. Star, enjoy digital life.
Miss Nelly Clerk of Assembly April as Buxton at 8:35 Buxton time after a short illness. Mr. Nguluve had accompanied the on 105th Interparliamentary Union Assembly and related. Mr. Nguluve joined the National Assembly in 2002